Hello there everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to some more GGHF commentary videos with me, THP, talking to you guys once again. It's been a while, but as of recently, there has been a whole bunch of news articles and stuff that has been going on recently that has been fairly interesting. And so I kind of wanted to make a whole new batch of these news videos to just kind of give my opinion on a lot of it. A lot of it is old news, a lot of it is very recent, but I want to talk about all of it either way. The first thing that I really wanted to tackle is probably one of the more recent things that really caught me off guard. Because of the Star Wars celebration, there was a whole bunch of stuff like the teaser for Star Wars Episode 9, and apparently they made an announcement for a Star Wars video game. Now, of course, this is, I think, published by EA. I don't know if it's developed by them as well. There are a lot of details that I really don't know about. I just know that this game exists. And so this is called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It is number 2 on trending on YouTube right now. A lot of people have been watching it. It has like 6.2 million views as of this date. And I really want to watch it because opinions have been very divided when it comes to the announcements of this game. A lot of people are either in the camp of, this is awesome, this is the Star Wars game that we have always wanted, here it comes, it'll be amazing. And then there's the other side that's like, oh, it's EA, they're involved, it has their logo and name slapped onto it, which means that it's automatically gonna suck, and no one's gonna like it, and it's gonna be a failure. This is, EA ruining Star Wars yet again, like how they did with Battlefront 2. Now, because of the track record that EA has, I'm inclined to agree with the latter, but the thing that you'll find about this trailer, I've already seen it by the way, but we're gonna go ahead and just give it another gander and see what we can what am I saying? I'm trying to do like 3 things at once here, that's why I'm flubbing in my words. Let's try and extrapolate whatever we can out of this trailer. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. The volume will be relatively low, but yeah, we're gonna go through the whole trailer one time. It's 2.5 minutes. It's not that long. I will be talking over all of it, so apologies in advance. Respawn Entertainment and EA. Yeah, you know it's an EA game when you have that super self-serious, yeah. When it's all like really dark and to survive. When is that very like super duper serious narration. Yeah, the way that the trailer is edited and like the structure of it, you know it's an EA game. All the Battlefield trailers look the same, and yeah. This is an EA-ass trailer. Oh, hello. Only one stormtrooper in the whole city. It's like, it could be a guy just wearing a Halloween costume, but you know. Yeah, see, all of these shots are really cool. This makes me want a Star Wars movie that's based around this as opposed to a video game. Oh boy, he's gonna get eaten by a Sarlacc. Of course, you can't create anything new and creative. You have to, like, just recycle the stuff that we already know. Oh, you see, the designs for that. That's really nice. So yeah, it's supposed to be like this Padawan learner, this Jedi dude that, is in hiding after the Order 66. And I guess, his whole narration is about staying hidden. But now he has to, like, come out and actually fight for whatever reason. Oh my god, I'm so much more intrigued about the stormtroopers than I am about, you know, this Jedi guy. He just seems like regular-ass normal dude. While everybody else seems to have a much more badass design. Yeah. Black sidekick, of course. We gotta have that, I guess. Oh, that guy's a Sith? Knows the Force? Yeah, it is an EA-ass EA trailer. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So we didn't see any gameplay out of that. Become a Jedi. Yeah, November 15th, a very, very specific release date. Usually I'm expecting like, you know, this year, 2019, or fall 2019. But nope, it is going to be very definitively gonna be coming out in November. Well, I don't really plan on playing the trailer again, so I think I'll just bring the music back. So yeah, I think we should just try and take a look at all of the different little bits here of the trailer and see what we can extrapolate out of it. Now, of course, the thing that really brings me to mind when I watch this trailer is Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I don't know if you guys remember that one. That's a game that takes place after 3 and before episode 4, where you had that one guy, Starkiller, right? It was the name of the dude, where he was being trained by Darth Vader, and he eventually turns to go against him. Or there are like multiple paths. You can do like an evil side and a good guy side, and I think the canon thing is the good guy side, because then there's a sequel that is significantly worse than the first Force Unleashed. I remember playing the Force Unleashed a lot and having a lot of fun with it back when I was a kid, back in the teenage years, I guess, on PlayStation 3. And then I never played Force Unleashed 2, but I never really had any desire to play it, considering how nobody really had anything nice to say about it. But I knew that was a thing, and it's all this, like, in-between story kind of stuff, expanded universe or whatever. And so this reminds me a lot of that, except that, you know, instead of being a guy that is trained by evil Sith Lords or whatever, he just seems like a regular good guy. He just seems like just a dude. I really don't see anything particularly interesting about him. To me, it almost seemed like a create a character kind of guy. You know, his story, you know, his narration, which I am really getting sick and tired of. Like, every single Battlefield trailer, every, you know, even the Battlefield Hardline spinoff or Star Wars stuff, just anything that comes out of EA, it always has to be like, the darkness, you have to do what it takes to survive. Boom, hard cut, and then something big, like a big spaceship. You know, a big serious thing, and I have to overcome it. I am protagonist, and I can't be happy or smiley or I can't do anything fun. It all has to be all gloomy, you know, and depressing. It has to be so self-serious, because that's what Star Wars is, right? So serious. It seems like people forget that in episode 4, 5, and 6 in that original trilogy, there was a lot about it that was very goofy and fun, and there was comedy in that too. But again, EA is very much like, you know, like their demographic is people like Angry Joe, you know, the people where their aesthetic is all like heavy metal guitars and big guy with big gun, you know. But here is a lightsaber, I guess. And again, not to disrespect Angry Joe. I mean, I like his videos a lot, but still, whenever I think about EA's demographic, I think about him, you know, like very macho, like, oh, this is serious, you guys. Think from your childhood, but like edgier and darker and more adult. Instead of just letting go of that thing that you know, grew up with as a kid and just try out something new instead. No, you gotta drag that thing that you grew up with along with you and force it to grow up. It just ends up looking a lot more immature than it is mature, you know? It's almost like trying to expose some sort of insecurity, right? About not wanting to let go of this thing that you loved as a kid, but at the same time, you want it to be mature, right? You want to have your cake and eat it too when it comes to your nostalgia. But anyway, that strange and out of place rant aside, you know, this kind of makes you believe that there might be some create a character thing where you can either choose a guy or a girl and then customize it in whatever way that you want, because the guy's look is just so generic and so like whatever that's what it leads me to believe. But I feel like that might not be the case. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think this is the story of this one guy, this Padawan learner guy that survived the whole, you know, mass killing of all the Jedi back in episode 3. And now we're living in basically, you know, pre-episode 4 world, where you have the stormtroopers, you have the Empire searching for them. Throughout the whole trailer, his narration is basically, you know, revolving around, you know, that he's in hiding, he can't stick out, he can't really show off, you know, his power, because if he does, he'll immediately get caught, and he's gonna have a target on his head. And so you can definitely see a bunch of cutscenes where, like, one of the aliens is falling, and obviously he's a good guy, he doesn't want to get, you know, you see the guy get eaten by the Sarlacc, so he, like, whoa, uses the Force and maybe tries to sneak something in, but then you see, like, the robot in the background, right? You know, maybe that's where he gets caught or something. I don't know. It's gonna be a Jedi-focused game. I know that a lot of people really want that Star Wars 1313 game to come back. That game that was actually looking pretty damn decent. The whole pitch of that game was that it took place on, like, this junk planet. You will go, like, really down deep into, like, the lower levels of this, you know, garbage planet, or, you know, full of, like, rogues and villains and that kind of stuff. You know, a layer of scum and villainy, or whatever Obi-Wan said about Mos Eisley before. The pitch looked really good, and it was very impressive. They even showed a gameplay. I remember there was a trailer of a dude that was just, like, shooting lasers and stuff with his blaster. And that was interesting, because I was focusing around more like bounty hunter kind of stuff, more like Han Solo type of characters that would just shoot and kind of experience the Star Wars world, as opposed to, just doing Jedi stuff, which at the time people were really sick of. And it seems here like they're bringing the Jedi stuff back again. Again, some people might be upset because it's not 1313, and in a way, I am, you know, a little bit upset. Not angry like, oh, I'm gonna make EA feel bad about it, but more like, oh man, you know, I kind of wanted 1313, you know, even if they just changed the name to something different, you know, for licensing reasons, before it got tragically canceled out of nowhere. I think I would have probably preferred that because, you know, we've seen gameplay of that, we've seen the pitch, and that seemed really exciting. But this also looks pretty good too. At least the cutscenes for it look pretty good. That's kind of like the big criticism that I can give for this announcement is that there's no gameplay. There's no gameplay at all. It's all just CGI stuff that makes me want to wish for a movie as opposed to an actual video game for this. I like this design. Like, it's really weird. The actual hero that we're supposed to be rooting for looks so generic and boring and very, like, cookie-cutter EA trailer. But, when you look at all of the bad guys that you are not supposed to be rooting for, you see all the stormtroopers, you see this guy that kind of has, like, the robot Kylo Ren kind of mask. And turns out, they kind of imply that here, that he's a Sith, you know? Like a Sith Lord that also has Force powers. Because when the guy or the girl, you know, it could be a girl, you know, the body looks kind of feminine. Yeah, a little too thin to just be another dude. But yeah, you know, when he or she grabs onto the window and it starts to break, and you see, like, the ship is, like, spinning really fast, it's like, uh-oh, this guy's got Force powers. This is gonna be, like, the last boss you're gonna have to beat. There's so obviously going to be, like, Darth Vader cameos in this, you know how EA is, you know, like, as soon as they got a hold of Star Wars, they just started milking and diming you and, you know, really trying to, like, squeeze as much nostalgia points as possible with Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, by, hey, you can play as Palpatine, you can play as Luke, you can play as Han, all of the, you know, new trilogy characters, you know, bringing back all of this other stuff. And, yeah, they say that this is going to be a single-player experience with no microtransactions. That's going to be very, very, very difficult to believe. Like, I will see that shit when I believe it. But, you know, right now, all we have is just the promise, and promises have been broken before. So, I'm not going to believe that until the game comes out and I see that the game is perfectly squeaky clean, single-player, beginning, middle to end experience with no microtransactions. With an actual, you know, cool story and fun gameplay that, you know, really does feel like, I know, I'm gonna sound like an IGN review, but it really makes you feel like a Jedi, you know? I know that, in Force Unleashed, the big selling point was the Force powers, because you could, like, move characters around and, you know, grab a box and throw it at a guy and, you know, see the ragdoll physics of the stormtroopers flying around. It was all about the Force powers, and, the lightsaber was just kind of an afterthought, you know, very hack and slash, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was hack and slash as well. But, considering how modern games tend to be very, like, over-the-shoulder, walking around and stuff, while other people tell you, you know, they talk to you about the story. I like the design of the lightsaber. This is really cool. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. It seems cool. To me, I feel like the title is a little weird. It's Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order. To me, it makes more sense to be like Star Wars, and then Jedi Fallen Order, or Fallen Jedi Order. I feel like you could, you know, swap around the words in a variety of different ways and get a significantly better result than the awkward placement of the, you know, of the colon right there. I really wish I had more to say. I'm afraid, I'm concerned that my opinions on this might be just a little bit too shallow, because, there really isn't a whole lot to work off of here. It's boring, generic, you know, wannabe Hollywood kind of movie trailer, sort of thing, right? Very self-serious, kind of Star Wars thing. And I've always liked the goofiness and the comedy and the sense of adventure that Star Wars has, you know? I'm not necessarily a fan of the really hyper-serious kind of thing, but I do like the Stormtrooper. All of the Empire designs for all, you know, this guy looks really cool. That Sith Lord looks really cool. There's absolutely, most definitely going to be, like, a Darth Vader appearance, or Chewbacca's going to show up, or, I don't know, because this guy's a good guy, you know, he's going to bump into a whole bunch of other good guys, I don't know. No idea. But I think, EA and the way that they handle things. And, you know, I know Respawn Entertainment is involved as well. I don't know how much of a hand EA has in, you know, the direction of this. But I feel like they're too mainstream to, like, not want to have some sort of cameo that'll, you know, give freakouts and reactions or something. I feel like they're not above, you know, just making a whole bunch of trailers where they reveal certain characters or whatever. This is definitely not going to be the last trailer we'll see. It's coming out in November, which is relatively soon. It's not super far off. Just towards the end of the year. And, you know, over time, they're going to keep showing more trailers. Hopefully, just gameplay. You know, they didn't even show menus or anything like that. We don't even know if these cutscenes are even going to be in the game. Most likely not. But hopefully, you know, this is some sort of indication of, you know, the kind of game that we're going to be playing. A lot of it seems very one-on-one, you know, as opposed to Force Unleashed, where it was all about the bombastic, you know, set pieces of, like, bringing down a Star Destroyer or just killing a whole bunch of people in one room. Here, it seems very one-on-one, you know, very personalized, very Sekiro, you know? And I think that'd be cool, you know, if this is just like Star Wars Dark Souls, then I honestly, wouldn't be super against that idea. And, it seems like the character really wasn't using his lightsaber all that much, you know? They barely just introduced the lightsaber until the very end, so, who knows? Maybe you'll be doing a lot more Force powers than you are actually gonna do actual Jedi stuff with the lightsaber. Yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in, you know, the originality of it, the story, and the characters that are gonna be involved, because I remember playing Force Unleashed, and I remember enjoying that quite a bit, even though a lot of it was very, like, mopey, emo, you know, Star Killer just kind of bitching and moaning and just kind of, you know, being a bit of a wet blanket most of the time, you know? You're like, oh, my memories, you don't understand, you know? Like, angry teenager kind of Star Wars character. You know, always pouting, like, you know, with the weird PS3 graphics that they had going on at the time. Hopefully this guy is a little bit more interesting than just very blank face, you know, stock picture dude just doing Jedi stuff. I don't know. He's a Padawan learner, so I'm assuming that he's like, oh man, I gotta fend for myself, my master is dead or something, or maybe he'll find somebody to train him. I have no idea. But I mean, I'm, you know, I have a pretty positive outlook on this, just from those two things: single player and no microtransactions, no you know, DLC other than maybe like expansions in the future if the game succeeds. That already is a pretty damn good start to me. But yeah, the one thing that really kind of brings it down for me is the fact that it's EA and the way that they make their boring ass trailers. You know, they're all the same goddamn thing. I really, you know, for a license like Star Wars, you'd think that they'd make it much more interesting and fun, as opposed to just kind of making it, this feels like Battlefield in space, you know? They kind of have that same format going on with pretty much everything that they make, and that just kind of sucks the soul and the fun out of, you know, having different licenses. If you're just gonna homogenize it into the same thing, then it really doesn't, you know, let me look forward to this as much as I probably would like. But I'm positive, you know, all of the stage is set for something potentially awesome. I know in the graphics department, I don't really have to worry about that. It's EA, I know it's gonna look good. But, I'm more worried about how the game is actually gonna play, you know? How is the lightsaber stuff gonna work? How much is it going to focus on Force powers? Is it gonna be like an action RPG where you level up and gain more skills? Or is it just hack and slash? Is it gonna be like a lot of these AAA games that, you know, you just walk around with an over-the-shoulder camera view while somebody else, you know, narrates the story? How interesting are the characters gonna be? How many fucking Star Wars tracks are they gonna recycle? Because apparently no one is allowed to make any new Star Wars tracks now. It's all just, you know, the same ones from the original trilogy and even the episode 1, 2, and 3. You know, a lot of it is just kind of the same stuff, and I would love it if they actually came up with something that's, you know, just as memorable as that old stuff, you know? Just new, something new, god damn it. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Again, I really am not going to have a super big formalized opinion until I actually see the game in action, and I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I think we're still a ways off. The video was number 2 on trending, so a lot of people are watching it and liking it, but still, overall, we know pretty much nothing about the game. Even with the narration, with the story setup, I mean, it's kind of what you'd expect, you know? post-Order 66, you know, oh, obviously, sure enough, there's still Jedi out there that have survived, and, you know, they have to not get caught, but of course they get caught and they gotta fight, you know, that's really no surprise. So, we need to get more and more details, and, you know, when there's more trailers and more gameplay and stuff, I'll probably be here and cover it. I like Star Wars, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, not as, like, obsessively as other people, you know, like, not go to the Star Wars Celebration and, you know, scream at the movie trailer that gets projected on screen, you know, not that hardcore of a fan. I've only just seen the movies, I've never seen the cartoons, or the animated series, or the CGI series, or the books, or anything like that. I play more of the video games than just the movies, and even then I play the games for fun, not necessarily for, like, the story and the lore or whatever, you know, but yeah, you know, I still like it, I still enjoy it, it's a big part of my childhood. I've seen all the movies, and I am excited for episode 9, so yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Apologies for this completely shallow, boring, and completely meaningless opinion piece, but, you know, I just wanted to address it. I just wanted to acknowledge that this exists, so that, you know, I can kind of brace myself for more coverage later. You know, this will just be my jumping off point. So, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I do understand that a lot of these people that watch my videos enjoy to just listen to me talk in this podcast kind of style, so, I do like that people just like to listen to me babble on incessantly about nothing. About video game news, obviously. I like to make these from time to time. I don't do these always, because sometimes there's just nothing to talk about that catches my interest. But, yeah, this following week, there's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We have, you know, Nintendo Live VR actually having support for other games, PlayStation Network, Attack on Titan, Ni no Kuni, Smash Brothers. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and of course, throughout the week, you'll see me talking about all this. One video a day, plus Let's Plays and stuff like that. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to give this video a like, and of course, you can subscribe, hit that bell icon, comment whatever you want, and any and all social media links are down in the description below. This has been me, THP, signing off, and I'll see you guys next time for some more video game talk. Yes, of the epic gamer kind. See you later. Bye.